I put it before I touch you. I gotta tell you for sure. True love is so to find. I will never find another like you. You will never find another like mine. True love is so to find. Ooh, I will never find another like yours. You would never find another like mine. No, no, never find another like mine. Girl, girl, I always say, hold on to what you've got. Remember to tell you
Fit FM is owned and operated by Communistation Company Limited, located in Stuart Castle, Duncan's Trelawney, Jamaica. We broadcast on FM 96.7 locally and is heard worldwide on fitfmja.com. Our mission is to amplify diverse voices and opinions, inform, educate, entertain, and engage listeners of all ages and lifestyle while promoting responsible community development. Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean. Cause it's so easy for germs multiply. You better wash your hands, it can save your own life. Wash your hand them clean, nobody spread no disease now. Hand washing is key.
A message from the Ministry of Health and PAHO.
Set this up, we mean this. Yeah, so you come get your tablet. And all when you left and you happy come back on me. Know you happy for one of them your laptop. Best of business, a serious business. We sell all electrical appliances. And all of your car accessories. Come a bed stop, you know no problem.
Best Apps Technology, Shop 25, Champion Plaza, Falmouth, Trelawney. Telephone 876-394-5484. Best Apps, we only deliver the best.
So here I am, the controversial Ed Wallce. I'm on Community Buzz every Monday afternoon from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Fit FM 96.7. Call me. Our number is 876-482-4944. Let us discuss topics affecting your community, education, health, community development, infrastructure, and anything else. Remember, Community Buzz, Mondays 3 to 6 on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Under the pressures of your life and it tough. Now stay down, mama, time pick it up.
Yes. No, I'm late. I am sorry. I'm so I'm off on my timing this afternoon. Had a little bit of car troubles, and guess what? We're here. Very good afternoon, anyhow. And you know, it's a Monday as usual. We're not having Community Buzz on a Tuesday yet. All right, so welcome to this Monday afternoon with Community Buzz, your community affairs program. This is Ed Wallce, your host. You're on the great, best Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. As you always know, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, all the major platforms, and all the radio stations online. So you just try to join us there. For those of us who are here already, just reach out to some people and have them know where they can find the community bus this afternoon. We have a show going on this afternoon. I know we hope to have a very interesting time. We hope to have some call-ins today. We see certain people online already. I'd invited one person, and let me just say hi, hello, welcome to Reverend Nugent. Yeah, I see you're online already from East Queen Street Baptist Church. Yeah, all our folks there. So welcome all, welcome all, welcome all. Just want to greet some other friends. Hugh Porter, have a big up, Bingy Smith. You're becoming a regular and I'm a phone now, Bingy. That is good. I hope that you become a regular on calling in terms of Fit FM Community Buzz program. So we're hoping that. Robert Roach, rerun over there in Philly, my big brethren. Heal up, heal up, heal up. All right. I hope you're listening. And I hope to have a call from one or two of you today. All those other guests from the various media platform that are here with us this afternoon, I just want to say hi, hello, and a big Fit FM welcome and greetings. Yeah, man. For birthdays this week, I didn't see any birthday that I could have written up and remember, but remember last week we had an overwhelming number of birthdays last week. You know, we celebrate birthdays of the week past. Yeah, but but you see that because them have stick over our head, we have just ill up Julia. Julia, whose birthday is tomorrow. So the boss lady celebrates her birthday tomorrow. We want to just start pre-congratulations for that 23 years of life. You know, so Jim Rooney, thank you. Yeah. Believe you me, Julia, you look good. More like 15 than 23, you know? Yeah, man. Anniversary, still our anniversary month here at Fit FM 96.7, Your Life, Your Music, and we're trying to celebrate, fighting to celebrate, because you know what? COVID all here. COVID.
We've been trying to celebrate Ed since last year. Since last year, we've been trying to celebrate. It just can't happen. But we've postponed our Fit FM day from this time. We've postponed, so you know we're going to celebrate the entire year anyway.
Remember, we tried even with Falmouth Day too.
Yeah.
I mean, the 250th anniversary of the town of Falmouth. It just but we're going to talk a little bit more about COVID and the new measures that have been taken. Outlined by the Prime Minister. Today, I hope they read budget last week. On here, they read budget. I will have enough to say on budget. Well, a few points out of the budget, but enough to say on it, and a little politics at the end of the story. Yeah? All right. So, hanging over from last week and the week before that and the week before that, we're looking at roadworks continuing the constituency, with the new MP claiming responsibility for all these roadworks and things. So feathers in her cap. And as we see the roadwork continue down in Falmouth Gardens, I think Bunkers Hill is done now because the last time they were just putting on the surface and that would have been the finale. We're still looking forward to Refuge and Stuart Castle, something happening there. By the way, I don't know if it's the MP or Mr. Service, but the little vein that was put through Martha Bray last year, just before election, Mr. Service, you know about that. Last year, I think it was. It started much up already, you know. And if we don't fix the part where we see damage right now, right up to Miss Gay there, if we don't fix it, it's just going to get worse. A big pothole is developing there. And I tell you, if we just, I tell you, it needs fixing. It needs fixing again. And so, whatever you can do to help us out there, so that it don't get any worse. Because to tell you the truth, that has now become the main road. Because the bottom road along Martha Bray is still in a bad condition. It's that Falmouth to Springvale Road, that portion of it, still bad. So all the traffic is passing through the middle of the district of Martha Brae now, with all the noise, heavy duty equipment and heavy duty truck, just destroying the road. If we still had just the taxis and the cars, we would have been okay. But the only remedy for that is to one, fill out the patches, and then to fix the that road, that Falmouth to Springvale main road, the Martha Brae section of it, and we would be doing so much better. All right. Last week we also dealt with a little bit of conflict conflict mitigation, and really I was giving my spin. I never got no school feet, put all my studies together, and came up with this. So conflict mitigation, what we spoke about was trying to avoid unproductive relationships, trying to avoid unproductive relationship on air. Yeah, unproductive relationship. If the relationship not substantial, if it's not giving anything, if you're not giving anything to it, try and leave it alone, because you're just setting up yourself for conflict. Not just got people that go sit down for chat's sake, and then go chat people business and get yourself in a conflict. That don't make a lot of sense. All right, and place the appropriate value on your relationship. So if your relationship are as important as they should be, be careful how you talk to people. Be careful how you say your stuff. That can be the beginning of conflict. Some people have it to say that if is not what you say, is how you say it, and that is sometimes true. I prefer to take the route to tell my children that look at the substance of what is said before you even start. Look at the style and how it's said. If there's an ounce of truth in it, you want to deal with that truth and move on. The style can be dealt with later. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of people get off on style. So if your relationship is of any value, put the appropriate value and know how you operate in that relationship. You can't call your husband a dog or your wife a bitch and expect, however much something bad happened, for that to settle nicely after 2 months, 3 months. Can't do that. So be careful how we talk to each other. Train your feelings. Why? Because every conflict begins at I feel disrespected. I feel cheated. I. So train yourself to monitor your feeling, because some things that we feel about don't really make sense, especially in what they call road rage is one good example. If you're gonna forget about it, if not gonna matter, 15 minutes to half an hour from now, no make it matter now at all. Forget about it. You can only cause yourself pain and problems. So you train your feelings to respond appropriately. If it is not going to, even a day from now, if it's not going to matter tomorrow, then don't decide to stab up your friend today, over a thing that won't matter tomorrow. That don't make a lot of sense. Value the issue. If you win the issue, what does it add to you if you win an argument? If you win the conflict, what does it add to you? If you don't add nothing, leave it alone. It don't make a difference. Come on. So you value the outcome. Put a value on the outcome. What does it mean to me to have an outcome in my favor? And if it's not substantial, walk away. Leave it alone. Just walk away. If it is a little bit more substantial than a walk-away situation, then you call for mediation. Call for somebody to come in and just try and help you resolve. We're not that bad. As I referred last week, I say, I think it's in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, it say, if we can't judge ourselves as brothers and sisters, how we go judge anybody else, So if we link up and we're that tight and we can't give justice to each other, then, so when two of us are heading towards conflict, call in a third person to kind of help us patch the difference. And then if not, go to the courts. Use the civil court. Don't run from it. Sometimes it's too far. That's why I say use a mediator that don't know and trust in the community. Perhaps use a JP. I'm still waiting to talk to a JP or somebody from the Justice Center in relation to conflict resolution. And I promise you, I will get somebody perhaps next week, the 29th. Yeah, next week. I'll perhaps get somebody. Our producer is faithfully working on something like that, so we can, because it's very important. A lot of these deaths and murders that we're seeing, and are crimes of passion. People just express their wrath in a careless and callous kind of way, and we might be able to at least cut and any life saved. Yeah, a minister of religion is good too. Any life saved is a life that was worth reaching out for. So we try and get to that one. And as I said, then you go to the courts and you must be able to resolve things in the court, because how the court set up now, the court is set up to hold us to our constitution. What is our constitution? It is an agreement between you and I, which was perhaps penned long before you and I, but it's an agreement as to how we are going to operate with each other in our society. And so when the court rules, it means that unless we're appealing a court ruling, then we're going to abide by the ruling of the court. So just so you go. It's kind of simple if we just stop and think for 2 seconds. Just stop and somebody says something harsh to you, stop and think for 2 seconds and see how you really, really want to respond. If the thing is of value, then I will applaud you. I will perhaps even march with you if you're doing a Mandela or a Martin Luther King thing on it, because justice is justice. And sometime and all the while, justice comes through all the process I'm just tell you about. But certainly our personal relationships can be dealt with in partly in the kind of way that we've outlined here. So now we're at COVID. We're not itching now, we're just a run. We're not itch COVID. COVID. What can we say? What can we say about COVID that has not been said? Yeah? The only thing we can get is new number. Right? We're at 35,338 COVID cases since last year. That is not really the frightening number, because Reverend Nugent will tell you, and he posted something on Facebook, which is why I expect that we might talk today. Reverend Nugent posted the figures for Singapore, and Singapore's infection rate for the year was 60,000. The thing is that Singapore had 60,000 recoveries roundabout, just the same, and far fewer deaths than we have. I'm not looking at the figures in front of me now, but certainly if the goodly Reverend call us and then tell us what he was trying to say and contextualizes his argument, then we can get some more understanding from other views. And the numbers. 876-482-4944. That's the number that you can WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp call and WhatsApp text. Yeah. And then you have 876-317-1991. That one you can call the phone line as well as WhatsApp text and WhatsApp calls. So there you have it. 876-482-4944 and 876-317-1991. All right, those are the numbers. So give us a buzz. You should have known them already, Rev, if not at least one. All right, so we have for Saturday statistics. I don't have for Sunday. Sunday is 600 and change. Yes, no?
I think so.
Yeah, but for Saturday was 533. Sometimes we lose count, And Saturday, there were 9 deaths. I think the day before that, there were 14 deaths, including 4 from Cornwall region. Huh? Yes. And that was becoming a big deal. Total death is 538 so far. And the active cases, this is the number that bothers me. Number that bothers me is 18,426, because it is out of this active case body that we might get our hospitalization from, which will overturn or overrun the health system. This is a figure that we want to be careful of. So some new measures have come in, some new guidelines coming in from the Prime Minister. I see again, burials are being allowed, but not funeral. I don't know why I get the feeling that the measures can impact church more than anybody else. Sunday. Because from all that I've seen, lockdown is gonna be on weekends starting from Saturday afternoon, 12 noon, and it goes back to Monday morning, 5 a.m. And I think for Easter Monday, it covers Easter Monday and goes into Tuesday at 5 a.m. Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. All the other curfew timing, I think remain the same for 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. in the mornings. That's my best recollection. So we have the COVID guidelines there. You can call us and let us discuss what is happening with the COVID guidelines from your perspective. Weddings are down from 25 to 15. You may all recall my saying I can't see why weddings were at 25 and funerals at 10. But no, it would seem to me that weddings and burials seem to be, no, weddings are now down to 15. 5 for the, yeah, both of them are down to 15. Are at 15 because are at 15. Yeah. So so the wedding, you have your witnesses, your marriage officer, and your bride and groom, and the others, I guess. Yeah, that is my recollection. And I wish I was wrong, because if I'm wrong, I'm sure one of you will call me and correct me on it. For funerals, you have the pastor again, or the person, the burial officer. You have the persons taking care of the grave digging. I think you have 2 other persons related to the funeral home. And then you have 10 persons, I think, from family and friends group. All right, so some of those are the protocols. Schools out. We're looking at no face-to-face for schools. I don't know how teachers and students feel about that at this point in time. But you have varying views out there. Call us and talk to us. Let us discuss it. And then we have the vaccine controversy going on. The vaccine controversy going on. Europe, America, Europe, UK, Eurasia, meaning Europe and Asia that combined, they're having some disputes about acquisition of the vaccine, that Zeneca vaccine. They're having disputes over that now as to whether or not they will be able to secure enough for themselves for the second immunization program. And that is going on as a big deal there. And then now they think AstraZeneca has just revealed that his effectiveness is about 79%. Yeah. But the question about the blood clots goes on. So I think what all of this has done is to give fodder to conspiracy theorists in terms of how they deal and may not take none, and this is a conspiracy to do something, and the injection of this and that and that and that. You're not going to suggest that if you're not going to take the vaccine, state that you're not going to take it and leave people who are about to take it to take it. I mean, nobody has yet mandated the vaccine. I don't see it yet. I know situations may develop where people will be forced or feel forced to take the vaccine. But right now, that is not on. So right now, you just take the vaccine if you're taking it. And those who are not taking it, try to cut the preaching and allow those who will take it to go ahead about their business. All right. In the vaccine thing too, there was a controversy kind of developing as to whether or not the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health, should have taken the vaccine first or taken it already. But no, yes, they have taken it today, including the leader of the opposition, because I noticed an article in a newspaper stating that Mr. Golden has also taken the vaccine. So that is it right now with respect to COVID vaccine. I don't know if I left anything out, but certainly I will come back to it. Still, okay, let me just say this from now. Still, we need to continue to follow the protocols, right? Oh, wow. Yes. We need to continue to follow the protocols in relation to washing our hands, sanitizing our hands, keeping social distancing. I know there's another contemplation in the United States to reduce from 6 feet to 3 feet. Some people will say that it's a confusion, but when you don't know what you don't know, you have to kind of experiment with the thing to narrow it down and bring it down to a finer point. And I suspect that is what is happening. So in the United States, I don't know about anywhere else, you find that they're reducing the distancing, especially to facilitate school, from 6 feet to 3 feet. So you still wear your mask, still distance, still wash your hands, and stay home if you can, because this thing is spreading rapidly across Jamaica. The numbers that we've been seeing is more or less the driver behind the kind of measures the government has been taking. And you can't, it kind of foolhardy, listeners, for us to not pay attention to the protocol, catch COVID, and then blame the government for no bed space in the hospital. That just don't make sense. You expose yourself, and then having exposed yourself, you take the responsibility off yourself to put it on others for your care and the blame for you catching COVID. That's not making any sense. Let us try to take all the precautions that we possibly can, and try to stay safe. Try to stay safe. As I say again, before I get there, let me just make a little note. Now, what we're finding out is that in Jamaica, at least one man we know about catch COVID twice, catch it, declared recovered, and catch it again. And now he's fearing that he will catch it a third time. Now, you may look at the news of that, but it's not the news of him catching it 2 times and afraid to catch it the third time. That is the issue here. The issue here is that we can catch it more than once, anyone away. It is possible. So what I'm asking for in my little corner, I don't know if it will eventually happen, is for when the statistics are being put out, I'm looking for 2 columns, 2 new columns. One column to tell the number of active cases in each parish, because we don't have that. We have the number of total case, and we have the number of case over the last 24 hours. I'd love to see the number of active cases. And I think it would be a good number for us all to have, number of active cases in our parish. All right? And the number of persons who would have had a repeat contraction of COVID in Jamaica. Because if it's that bad, then this idea of immunity, we're not really safe. We're not really safe. And until we test the vaccine with immunity, we still have to practice all the protocol, whether or not we have had COVID already. Don't make no difference if you have had COVID already. We're going to have to practice the protocols. I seriously would like to hear from any member of the clergy in relation to what is happening with the church in light of the new measures. There are perhaps 2 sides to this argument, which is one, with this plague, this pandemic, is now you need to pray, fast and pray for more. Is now you need more prayer warriors together in the same room praying. There's that one school of thought added to it that, you don't feel like the spirit is really moving when the body is not together in the sanctuary. There's the other belief, which is that the church needs to be compliant because COVID don't afraid of nobody. And so the church needs to be as responsible as any other grouping, including the family, to make sure that you don't have no big gathering, all of that. Just like the party goers and the people who seek to have parties, you don't need no mass gathering. You need to tamp it down, keep it down. So I'd really like to hear from a religious leader what's their take on this issue with the virtual lockdown of the sanctuary. Let me use that term to mean the church building. Yeah, and how does it affect worship and the relationship of the minds and hearts of the body of Christ with our Master himself, if there's any impact there, anything that tears away. So please, somebody, one of our pastors, please call me to give me a hint on this. I'm going to take a short break and I'm going to come right back to you. We have more for you.
So I can fly far, far away from here. Dear God, please make me into a bird so I can fly far, far away from here.
Every day I rise on a prayer. That's all I got to take me through. I know one day I must and I will free myself from everything that holds me captive. Gonna be free like a bird in the sky. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Gonna be free, gonna free my mind. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Life is so sweet and I don't wanna die, but this burden I bear could be hard sometimes. Food scarce, so me juggle everywhere. Sometimes I make a move, me can't find no bus fare. Go look for Mama Jai, she said nothing not dead there. Pan the youth them face, I see the pain.
When the war I go on, we get the most money. But when we say we're hungry, it's time to cry. The youth stay strong. We have to survive the game.
Gonna be free like a bird in the sky. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Gonna be free, gonna free my mind. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Youth in a garden, youth in a jungle, youth in a Rima, Harvesttown, youth in a Flancas, De La Vega, Riverton, back to Anmore Town. I know it's hard sometimes, but we not give up. Oh no. Matches lane, 100 lane, plain land, white out, grand spin, Norwood, Backbush, Spanish Town. Don't you give up. Gonna be free like a bird in the sky. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Gonna be free, gonna free my mind. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. One thing I know is that I must survive. One thing I know is that I must rise. Every day I rise on a prayer. That's all I got to take me through. I know one day I must and I will free myself from everything that holds me captive. Gonna be free like a bird in the sky. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Gonna be free, gonna free my mind. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high.
I can fly far, far away from here. Dear God, please make me into a bird so I can fly far, far away from here.
Every day I rise on a prayer. That's all I got to take me through. I know one day I must and I will free myself from everything that holds me captive. Gonna be free like a bird in the sky. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Gonna be free, gonna free my mind. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Life is so sweet and I don't wanna die, but this burden I bear could be hard sometimes. Food scarce, so me juggle everywhere. Sometimes we make a move, me can't find no bus fare. Go look for Mama Jai, she said nothing not dead there. Pan the youth them face, I see the pain.
When the war I go on, we get the most money. But when we say we're hungry, it's time to cry. The youth, stay strong. We have to survive the game.
Gonna be free like a bird in the sky. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Gonna be free, gonna free my mind. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. Youth in a garden, youth in a jungle, youth in a Rima, Augusttown, youth in a Flancas, De La Vega, Riverton, back to Anmotown.
Welcome back to Community Buzz here on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. You're in the Buzz, your community affairs program with Ed Wallce, your host. I do a little thing last Friday, I think it was. You see, I went out in the street and went to I was in Falmouth and went down to the street where they're doing the fruit vending and all of that kind of thing. And just went to have myself a jelly and just decided to chat a little bit for a short while with some of the vendors there. And incidentally, the Prime Minister just finished his budget speech, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I asked them the question of how was COVID impacting them? What is happening with them? And they answered in their own words. I'm going to play a little clip right now so you can hear what the fruits vendors in the street there, in the corner there, original Big J corner there, so yeah, what they were saying. We'll be hearing that clip in a moment, as we try to put it together. But a lot of people are now really feeling the stress as we go into 2021 and as we go into COVID future. The stress and the strain is getting more, and people are actually saying what they believe. I mean, everybody don't come up front and say everything the way they want to say it, especially when you're going to go on radio and all of that kind of thing. But people are feeling the pinch and people are saying it, and people want what they want. So we're just going to say it. We're just going to have it said, have you hear it, because we are saying what we're saying out there on the streets. And Fit FM 96.7 Community Buzz is just a conduit that is going to deliver that message as we do the duty that we are committed to do for our community. All right, so we're going to try again.
Right, I'll put this on. All right, so yes, COVID now, brother, COVID does make a thing just slow down and I go on away, but I like if you just hurry up and left, brother.
So you usually get a big bite of tourist thing when them pass through?
You are really happy. You see, tourist thing, we don't really get a big bite, but the person who are working at the tourist system, them support enough. So you just work out to see me like we have the support for the tourists. Because I say 50 somebody work over here.
Second tier benefit.
Yeah. And you will still 1 and 2 tourists to come through sometime and support you. So.
But really, your clientele is Jamaican. The street clientele are mostly Jamaican.
Cut slow down one a little bit still, but I have to just give thanks a little bit and still a push, you know?
All right. Rest away, I said.
No, just the same thing I said, just like I said, if I hold away in the street, I see same procedure. Hold away there, I see same procedure, you understand? Yeah, just like when say, same procedure.
Jamaican now work.
No money now flow, and you know, everything's slow.
But what I like, so what could be done?
Things are raised, and the pay now raised. You understand me? I say, so you raise up the things them every other month and work a cut, and people have picnic for feed and all these things. So, and then now, when you try push out for us, you know, even if you have a stall on the road, police come. Beat you down everything. You know what you know what your Facebook and see how they deal with people.
All right, but here was a designated. I found out today. Here was a designated area for vendors. So you don't get that.
Yeah, but I mean, in another way, you know, see on the Facebook. Me, I wonder if the Prime Minister don't see that. All the police them do to people on the road. You see one way police are lick down the old woman on the ground and lick all one brother in the head, bust up the whole life. All then something them. Tell me.
All right. In terms of
the government don't see that.
Me hear you. In terms of Falmouth, this because this is going to be heard, you know. You say what you say. Yeah. But the next question what I want to ask on is one who like say don't you don't have any remedy, anything on say that the government could have done that would have relieve the thing apart from anything on the years so far.
Pay if you raise, cause food are raise, pay for raise. If internet to pay for cause an online thing. Enough people not have no money to pay no internet bill. Phone card again it costing. When they send the part money, little bit you can't even do nothing more and so. Same way. You want part money more and more because the work hours cut. The pay cut.
Alright.
And the food dear.
Where would the government get that from for you know, for increase that?
Master, they have them way. They have them way. Then you we out of some can everything.
You can't see a way that tell Mr. Prime Minister cut that and put here, so I cut that and you know no recommendation.
Yeah, this whole part something what them take from America. How much in apple out here? We can make a one apple juice. How much in hills there where we can plant up and this you take things from over so what we could
you see thing when me look on. You see the sweet sector thing where they use now. I use the sweet thing.
Ganja, you mean?
Yeah, where they might use it for medication wise. What do I say? I feel like some of the money they can draw back from some of the system where they have to feed the weed. If put back in or if help the less fortunate. I believe that. Some others say them can lean on this. If gain something so they can give back to the parents and who have a kid. We go school.
All right, this is Ed Wallce. I talk to the man in the street. We're up on the corner in a Falmouth where the man himself, the cane and the jelly and the everything. That little corner there in a water square. That's how we there. We don't call on him still because we never talk to the man about call on him thing. But the man just give them idea and thing. So Ed Wallce go reply to them on fitfm ja.com. The community buzz, your community affairs program. So we'll deal with that come Monday. Same this Monday. Yes, so that was my little, what should I say, experimental or what should I say? How should I call it, producer? Or launch of the man in the street. Yeah. Launch of the man in the street. Yeah, man. So a couple of things were said if you were listening carefully. If you could understand the patois, because me, I forgot on in a patois too. Yeah. But if you can understand what was being said, firstly, first point I noted was one of the gentlemen said, more COVID hurry up and left. Because COVID has slowed the thing. The question is now, how is COVID going to leave if we all don't cooperate to get it down? I wonder if we're not here, man. On a promise, I want to listen for your wagwan. How are we going to get COVID to leave if we're not able to follow the protocols and cut the infection rates that we're seeing? 500 and 600, 400 and on nothing good. In a day, 24 hours. That are nothing good. You know? So what mother said to the item there on the corner, and everybody else who might be listening, is that we're going to have to make an all-out effort for personal responsibility in spite of everything else. No business or government want to do our next month or anything like that. We have some personal responsibility. Me, you, have some responsibility to take care of. When I was out there, I noted I had my water jug. I could wash my hands and all of that kind of thing. So I see some of the protocols being followed. Some more masks could be used around there. But all in all, we're not going to make it left in any hurry if we're going to deal with it in a nonchalant manner. And as I said earlier on, to expose ourselves and then cuss the authorities for not having hospital space for us to be sitting on chairs and all of that kind of thing. No makes sense when we could have just not get the disease at all for find ourselves in that. So I don't know what you think about that, guys. I'd give you the number 876-482-4944 and 876-317-1991. If you still want to call me to talk some more upon the corner there, call me out now. Call me out and let's talk. All right. So one of the next point that was good, very good in this, was one of the man said things slow, but we have to just give God thanks same way. We have to just give thanks same way. And that's a positive attitude there. I can't tell a human being what kind of attitude they're supposed to have when a them feel a pinch. So when a man say him feel the pinch, but him give thanks same way. And the right, that's a Bible principle. In all things, give thanks. You know? And so I kind of look at that as a positive down there up on the corner. Now, I think here in COVID, more and more we are seeing the impact of how the what should I say, the chain of money flow. Could perhaps, I don't know what other term I could use, you know, but me get my pay from work, me buy from my producer buy from somebody else, and the money spread out and go down, right? That extended value. So now we are understanding that when the tourists them not about, it really turned on the thing, bad. Because, you know, have no craft vendor I try to juggle, and even though the food never big when the tourists was here for every craft vendor, so to speak, the craft vendor get a food and could have got market. Now that kind of taper off. The gentleman is saying, and Mrs. Logan, who has a store in the Falmouth market, had alluded to that in one of our last year's interview, where she told us that she don't get a lot of the tourists from the ships when they come into Falmouth. What she gets is the tourist workers. They come off the ship and they want material to repair their clothes and all of that kind of thing. Then she gets that sale. So everybody kind of have a little niche and is now understanding that one man work so that he can buy from one man, so that he can buy from one man, which means now we have to protect the market. Now, I cuss Mr. Ed Bartlett on how him deal with the shifting at the time when he was dealing with it. But the fact of the matter is that he very well understands, some of us are going to be hungry if we don't have tourists. And perhaps very many of us. Yeah. And so the fight to keep tourism together, whatever other motive you want to ascribe to it, the fight to keep the tourism sector together is a fight that really and truly have a solid impact on the lives of ordinary people. So we must always remember that, so that when it goes back now to the fact that if we don't take personal responsibility to stop COVID in its tracks, then we're not going to have our businesses opening back. We're not going to have tourism opening back, and we're not going to make money, and more people are going to be hungry. Right? There's a connectivity there that must be established. Yeah, everything. Now, there was another comment about everything arrears and the paying arrears. This comment take me back into the budget debate with Mr. Mark Golden. Now, Mr. Mark Golden brought a basket into Parliament to demonstrate or to make liver his presentation, to color his presentation. And I don't know that that was the best means, but it's not the style we're talking about, it's the substance. Things tough, things hard. Things are hard on people, really, really hard. And when you have chicken back running at $190 per pound, if Miss Lou should come back now, she would talk about the days when chicken back did a shingle roof, not saltfish. Yeah? But things are hard. Let's not lose track of that fact. Things are hard. I think Mr. Mark Golden, I don't know who does his coaching or anything like that in terms of his presentation, but I think Mr. Golden would have done better if he had taken a $5,000 bill and tell the government that you have a prime minister and this money can't buy nothing. Yes, it would have bounced back because man laid up on money too. can't buy nothing. But the basket wasn't all that necessary because everybody knows certain stuff, you know. But if you're looking for color in your presentation, man, I so sure say the basket rocked. Yeah. Huh? The basket? Yeah, it has been used a couple of times before, so it's almost like overuse, you know. So, but that's not the substance of the thing. The substance of the thing, and the opposition leader was right. People of Jamaica feel the pinch. And I don't know how we're going to respond to that, because J&P, street man, vendors, fruit vendors in our market there. You put me in a whole heap of things right here now. You put me in a whole heap of things with this PNRS thing. In some instance, no job not there at all. And again, there's a connectivity. PNRS, things are go up, you're buying less food. So even those who are work, I get hungry, much less those who not work. You know? So in terms of periods, I don't know again, connectivity again, if we don't understand that our productivity is going to be pretty much hook up to our reduction of COVID. If we not stem COVID, we cannot be back to business as usual for make the thing run, for make people get paid, and for things to happen so that pay can raise. Yeah? Some people might now even have to take pay cuts, right? Because they're hourly paid and they have to share their hours with another co-worker to make everyone get a pinch of the food. So it's quite tough, right? The mention was made too of the smallness of the path money. But the question comes back, where do we get that money from? I swing back into the budget presentation and I say, in the budget presentation, I remember a couple of things, and I don't know if I can conjoin them. I don't know. But I'm looking at a 422 million that was budgeted for promoting the vaccine. I look at the opposition spokesman on finance coming out and saying at least a $21 billion more should be put into the budget to spend for COVID relief or something to the effect. But that 21 billion should be used to, in some way, to relieve COVID. It should be taken out of the budget to do that. But at the same time that they were saying that, and perhaps that's why we asked where the money must come from. At the same time, the spokesman on finance was saying that. I think it was the opposition leader who was saying that the Bank of Jamaica deliberately set up a situation to benefit from the devaluation of Jamaican dollars and in a underhanded way collected tax to fund the budget. Now we're asking the opposition the same question I asked a man in the street. Where must the money come from? That 21 billion for COVID relief, where must it come from? Now, from my little understanding, deliberate devaluation is usually a means to reduce the price of home goods and increase the price of exported goods so that it would affect the balance of trade in a positive way for home goods. So you begin to sell more home goods and the people at home begin, because of prices, to reject the imported goods. And that is usually the standard benefit that devaluation should bring. Now I'm understanding from the opposition leader something slightly different, and that's perhaps because I'm not an expert, is that there have been gains by the government of Jamaica, Bank of Jamaica, from the devaluation. And so that is what is being used, at least in part, to fund the budget. If that is so, I see it as creative, but the question still stands. Somebody please tell me. If that money wasn't there, where would the money to fund the budget come from? And in particular, where is the 21 billion going to come from to fund the COVID relief that we're talking about? Are we going to go to extensive borrowing again and we overstretch with borrowing? What are we doing? And all of that affect the man in the street, because the man in the street want to see a little bit more path money. And as I said that, boy, a whole heap of things and put me in a fruit vendors and put me in a whole heap of things. Whole heap of things. How does the rest of society, apart from a social conscience, how does the rest of society becomes responsible for the behavior, particularly with respect to bringing children in the world? How do we move that responsibility from the people who have the babies to the people who are trying to do a hard day's work to make ends meet, pay their taxes? How do we do that? Isn't there an element of personal responsibility that is required there? I'm just asking. Is it that we're going to continue to have the children, no preparation for them, and then literally make them slaves and pawn to politicians, and some case not even politicians, but some nefarious characters who use them for do all sort of things, human trafficking, go dancing, homosexuality, all kind of things. Are we going to continue to bear children to put them into that scenario? Isn't there some responsibility on our part not to so do? I just ask. I wish one of you upon a corner would have called me. Maybe I'm not so good. Maybe I'm not seeing the whole picture. So I'm just asking. Step up and share something with me. So the pay can raise if productivity not go on. And productivity can go on if we not try to control the COVID thing. How we going to deal with it? An next positive that came out of the talk with those men in the streets had to do with looking towards agriculture as a solution. I think none of our listeners can blame me today for not promoting agriculture. Almost every program, not true producer, almost every program I talk about agriculture. Not only do I talk about it, but I have gotten involved in it myself. Oh, by the way, I buy back 12 chicken here, producer. That was 3 weeks old this week. Buy back 12 chicken. No, I'm not buying chicken to sell back. I'm more making a life from it than making a living. Because when I kill my chicken, I give my friends and family, some old folks, and I keep some for myself. So I have dinner in the form of chicken. For a while, plant my bananas and my plantains, I plant my gungo peas, I plant all kind of things. Well, if it will grow, I will plant it. Right? And believe you me, I've gotten something out of it. Other people are growing callaloo. Callaloo is kind of a standard planting thing for most people. Why can't we just make an attempt to begin to supplement our tables by growing? Once I know, when I finished, I'm telling you the story. When I finished my dinner, it was a 95% Jamaican dinner and a 85% homegrown dinner. Because I just the seasoning them might not have come from Jamaica. Right? But the vegetables and everything, Jamaica. Now, the banana, because I never use no rice neither, my dinner was rice free. Because I stopped name rice really. Excuse me, language. rice not good for me. All right. So, I cut banana and I use my banana. I use my gungo in a stew. And I use the same chicken that I raised. We can do some things to help ourselves. So, corner man, when I talk about agriculture, I'm not correct. But no make we continue to look on big farms only. Because it might not work out for you. We can talk all we want. People might not go in there. But we could do what we can do in our backyard now. We could do what we can do in our backyard and see if we can supplement our tables and deal with some of the issues we have. I've done the food planting. Excuse me, I've done the chicken rearing. And my next move that I'm going to experiment with is freshwater fish. I'm going to get a little container, whatever it is. I see my nephew with an old bath thrown out because him changed the bath. I'm going to see if that can work, and I'm going to put it near some half shade, fill it up with water, buy some freshwater fish, and try to raise some fish and see how it works. Because I will not suggest to you that you do something that I am not willing to try for myself. And hence, when I try that fish thing, I'm going to come back out and I'm going to tell you, Pastor Thorpe, I know you might not be listening now, but Pastor Thorpe from Lilliput Wesleyan Holiness Church, big up, because I know you do some fish raising too, freshwater fish. So it can be done. My fellow Jamaicans, my fellow Trelawney people, my fellow Western Jamaica people, my fellow human being. It can be done. We can do some things for ourselves. To help ourselves. To help ourselves, we can do some things. And so the idea of plowing back into agriculture is not a bad idea. Whether or not you're going full scale, small farmer type, or you're going backyard gardening, agriculture is always good. So I will always encourage agriculture. Again, that came out of the same man in the street, liquor chat we have, right? So we'll go a little further now. Ganja! The man said the ganja money, the ganja thing we're going, the ganja money must be plowed back, or perhaps could be plowed back into helping out the poor people with path money, etc., etc. Remember this, before I go get it in a certain liquor trap now. I have nothing against helping up less fortunate individuals. Even times if I'm not financially less fortunate, I may be less fortunate in even physical strength, and somebody have to help me out. We thank God for that. So I'm not against that. What I'm talking about, fruits vendor, is the question of whether or not we have any responsibility for our actions as we move forward in life. Because the people in them who they're already there, the carelessness, if it was carelessness, what we're going with, that going already. Some of us had planned and think things would have worked out differently and it work out good. Okay, so that. But moving forward, we have to begin to tell our neighbors, tell our friends, tell your customers that, a good thing to do is to really control how we populate, not knowing where food going to come from for feed people. That that it can be a strategy to just have babies. Anyway, ganja. From Rastalands, I want to have Rastalands develop this. Rastalands, Dickie Crawford, and all them people who came with the ganja thing. We're going to take a break and I'm going to come back. It's a nice little segue. Take a break and come back with the ganja. All right, we'll talk about that in a second.
I was born strong. I was made for this. See, I met so many hard times when I thought I couldn't make it. See, I've had my trials when my pillows dried my eyes. Then the morning came and my wings took flight. I rise. See, I'm hurting but not broken. Down but I won't die. I rise. Soon I will reach the sky and still I rise. Some say it's a mystery how I still believe that in spite of all I've been through, I could still push the wheel. See, I have a power they can't see with their eyes. It's a little thing called faith that makes broken wings fly. I rise, though I'm hurting but not broken. Down but I won't die. I rise, soon I will reach the sky and still I rise. Who can understand when just an ordinary man defies the odds and still fights on to win? I can take it, I can make it, I The sky is still a rise, rise. See, I'm hurting but not broken, down but I won't die. I rise, and I will reach the sky is still rise.
The illustrious Etana. Here up now, Facebook people, if you ever get cut off, please resort to the online platforms, the YouTube especially, and we will be there just the same. All right, so you can go there. Yvonne Rollins, big up, big up, big up. I know you're listening and you've asked me to slow down on the patois, so I'm going to try my best. I am going to try my best. All right, so boom, 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 boom. We were going to the use of the proceeds of ganja. Long and short, and I'm a virgin them on the corner. Street vendors must still talk to you now, even though everybody else are hearing. The long and short of everything, in relation to the use of ganja funds. This is my opinion now, and it's not from Fit FM. Fit FM is not to be held responsible for what I'm about to say. It's my opinion. The ganja farming thing should have been a big thing long ago. But we have several problems with the ganja thing. We have several ganja problems. Some of the problems stem from the fact that we've put stumbling blocks in our own way with respect to licensing and all of that kind of a thing. A poor man can't say, I'm going to ganja planting, A poor man cannot say that he's going to enter the ganja farming thing because of the amount of money it takes to grow just 1 acre of ganja legitimately. See, you have a man in St. Thomas taking the government to task and into court for destroying his ganja. And the case is from, I think, a religious standpoint, a sacramental standpoint. But nonetheless, even with that, you have problems. So there are some internal problems with respect. There's more too. There's more. That is just scratching the surface. But internationally speaking, with the ganja and the ganja export, Jamaica and the Jamaica ganja growers have basically been able to establish a relationship between Jamaican farmers or Jamaican farming of ganja with the Canadian clientele, Canadian customers. Some of them are even partnerships with some Canadians. But America rules, rules the world. And what they've done, because is that they've put us in a situation where it's hard, very difficult to repatriate, for investors to repatriate funds from their earnings in terms of ganja, because ganja is illegal. Ganja money is drugs money, and that becomes a problem in the system. So I am not even sure that we here in Jamaica have yet sorted out how we're going to accept the funds from the ganja industry into the legal banking system. I promised Mr. Nugent, young Mr. Nugent at a particular bank, that I would not say this today, but I'm going to one bank go see an American poster trying to prevent tax fraud from perhaps Jamaican Americans in Jamaica. That is how far-reaching the hand of the United States is. And so moving ganja money is really moving drug money as far as the United States is concerned, as I understand it. And that is part and parcel of the problem why the ganja industry is all but stalled. Little here, little there. You go up Jacksontown, people are seeing things happening and things like that. But the ganja money has not rolled out yet. And I'm going to say that I believe that America has been playing a long strategic game with the weed, really and truly, to redevelop their weed industry, their ganja industry. Because let me tell you something, it's somewhere in the 1950s, they start getting hard on weed, you know. They start getting hard on weed around about the same time that, what should I say, poly ropes came into being. Because prior to that, most ropes were made from hemp, ganja, that kind of a thing. And so the big players in the petro industry, because all the plastics and all some of the rubbers and all them things that come out of the petrochemical industry, petroleum industry, gas industry. All right? And there was big money to be made from the oil and all the byproducts of the oil industry, including plastics. So them kill ganja. Ganja became illegal. So right now, I am believing that America wants to bounce back with its ganja industry because it can't hold it no longer. But they don't want little players like Jamaica, little countries like Jamaica, going and exporting weed to them when they can do it in California, Nevada, and some other areas, even in Florida. So when they're done developing their weed industry, I suspect at that point in time, we will get the crumbs from their table. But right now, the ganja money, I don't think that is going on as big as it could go. I stand corrected. I would wait on some of my other friends to talk to me who have not yet spoken to me. Some people might be already making money out of it. But it's not as big an industry as it should have been by this time when we put the stumbling blocks that the US has in place and the stumbling block that we ourselves put in place for ourselves. So, street man, if you want to say anything, is free up the weed, free up the ganja. That is, I'm saying, if you want to say anything, that would be your thing. For me, right now, I'm not neither here nor there on ganja. For all intent and purpose, I would be planting lemongrass and extracting lemongrass oil to sell rather than to go into ganja. Because there are a lot of things that we could do that we're not exploring. By the way, I don't know if you know this, the rest of Jamaica who's listening. I don't know if you know that we used to use the couscous to make perfume. And when Things Jamaica was Things Jamaica in the 1980s, there was a new couscous perfume that came out that you hardly can find now, and the price high. So we have herbs and spices that we can cultivate and use rather than following up the fad as they come and go. Perhaps we should start trying a little thing with little herbs and spices that we have and utilize them. Pimento is still on market. Ginger is still desired. Turmeric is still desired. I see now in the States, every night I watch my TV, I see advertisement about turmeric supplements, you know? So we can go into those markets too. So the agriculture thing is a good idea, but don't just dwell on the ganja because you feel so much money upon ganja. I'm still doubting who can make money off of ganja if they don't have money. Because just to fence your 1 acre alone and prepare security, the cost is exorbitant. And so I'd encourage you to look elsewhere. I'd also encourage you for them men with the whole heap of baby mothers. And sometimes women can go into farming too. You know. Of late, I've seen even a teenager in Manchester going into farming and planting her crops and making her money off it. We really have to start to look seriously because what we have gone and what we have started, thank God for the Rastaman of Jamaica. I'm saying that. Big up all Rastaman. Real Rastaman, big up. Because some of the things that we need to be doing now are things that you have been telling us that we should be doing a long time ago. Go natural. Go natural. And so the natural food and the rather than the fast food, everything fast. We want fast food, fast information, fast everything, fast relationships, everything are just fast. And we can't get enough of fast. It's time we slow it down and begin to assess our positions in the world, assess our position in the country, assess our position in the families, and see what we can do to make a better life and a better livelihood, or more life and more livelihood. So, Cornerman, big up again. Glad for the little reasoning. I will return at another time to talk to you about some other thing. But if you want, you can still call me at 876-482-4944 WhatsApp. And you can send a WhatsApp text. You can also call me at 876-317-1991. So you can get us at that number. And you can street call that one too. Mr. Roach, remember, say you promised to give me a call. Yes.
Yes. There's a comment here from A. Rollins. Okay, and agriculture fine, food planting fine, rearing chicken fine, but in the meantime, what do people eat? And she's texting from Florida.
Okay, she's saying in the
meantime, what do you have to say about people needing food? I don't want to call this person's name, dumping edible chicken when people have gone hungry.
All right. The second question, I don't quite understand. I'll get back to
you now.
But in terms of Mrs. Rawlings over there in Florida, you see, the fact is that the fact of the matter is that we're eating now. We might not be eating as much, but we're eating. The thing is not to get to the stage where we're not eating. And so, in terms of the farming, what I'm talking about is supplemental farming in some instances. When I talk about backyard, you can barely make $1 off backyard. One plantain comes, when I get one plantain, I get 33 fingers. So that's $3,300 if I sell one for $100. $80, I get even less. All right? I just fry my plantain and eat them, share them with Sister Darling and my other neighbors, and we're gone. But if each of us plant something, then like me and Clive in Martha Bay, Clive is my borderline fence neighbor. Every time something comes in, we can exchange. So we won't always be dying of hunger. And it's just, as I said, supplemental farming. It's supplementing your table, right? You're still going to have your rice and so whatever you're eating now, you're still going to have it to eat, hopefully. But for those lean and mean days, you have this. Your chicken and your fish is the same thing, because I just raised, as I say, a dozen chicken. Those are for me, one, for my own purpose in terms of eating. And the second purpose it serves is to help me when I talk on air to my fellow Jamaicans to say that it can be done. I know it can be done because I have done it. So we're just going to have to start somewhere. Once we're not dead, Yvonne, we're going to have to start somewhere, right? And we start with a little that we have. We have some 6-week crops, the cabbage, the callaloo, the pak choy, all of that kind of thing, right? The quick crops. And when we go natural, it's even better, because fast food now go work with it all the time. All right, the second question, producer, was which one now?
About persons dumping chicken.
I'm not so sure about what we're talking about, dumping chicken, because when we talk about dumping is an economic term, which refers to other country subsidizing their products and then selling it cheap on the market, killing on the local market here, like Jamaica, and thereby killing our market.
But what she has done, she has mentioned someone's name, And I'm not going to repeat that name on air because it's not confirmed.
Right.
This is alleged, and I don't want to mention that person's name on air without.
Maybe if I in camera hear that name, I will be able to put some context. So let me just check for that name and then reply. Give me a little thing. Let me just check. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to take a short break, and let me just. You want me to continue, producer?
So I can fly far, far away from here.
Every day I rise on a prayer. That's all I got to take me through. I know one day I'm lost and I will. Free myself from everything that holds me captive. Gonna be free like a bird in the sky.
Am I back on here? We're on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. Yeah, you're in the community buzz. And I really in the community with it. All right. Let me just address that question of dumping and that person. I'm going to tell lie because I'm too old for afraid. I'm not going to tell no lie now. No, go say here, missus. No, go say. It's not true. It's not true. We had a problem at one time where the market fell apart. And when the government was doing bailout for hotels and bailout for some other business and bailout for that, some bailout went into agriculture. As a result of the bailout in agriculture, some people benefited from chickens. Yeah? And it was not a bad thing. It was, in fact, a good thing. So, no let nobody lie to you. And if you want more details, you can actually link me on Facebook and I'll talk to you. Link me on Facebook and I'll talk to you inbox. But find let us do the right thing. Yeah, and everything we hear, correct. Let us do. As a matter of fact, I hope that that Mr. Roach, Robert Roach, will be calling me this afternoon from Philly, because what Robert is going to tell me, producer, is what are Jamaicans primarily hearing about Jamaica up there in the States. Because like this one, I don't know if this person was actually here and saw what happened, but that sounds like it stems from a little bit of hearsay. But no, what happened with that particular case of chicken, ma'am or sir, was a above board thing. It was above board. I have no interest. I have no reason to lie to you. All right, so that agriculture. Really want to call me anytime now. Yeah, call me anytime now. Mr. Porter, still listening for you if you want to make an input this evening. And Bingy, we started talking. Give me a call if you will. All right. So, Falmouth now. We're going back to Falmouth because that was just the fruit vendors section we dealt with. And this evening, a real community was Falmouth community. All right. So the Prime Minister announced rather proudly, and I wonder, little politics will come on for this later on. The Prime Minister announced in Parliament a project that has been going on for a while now in terms of the development of Falmouth. Part and parcel of the argument that he made out was saying that, hey, let us not stem the preparation for the trip that we're about to take, notwithstanding COVID. So we have the artisan village that is being built out, is because we're looking forward to fill it out. That is my understanding of what he's saying. Better days will come. Better days will come. And so the Falmouth destination will be developed for some first-class occurrences. 50 acres of land, and I think that's a land area between Falmouth 1 Mile and Martha Bay, not on the mangrove side, on the fish pond side. that will be developed in the first class town center, and all of that will be happening. You know what I'm questioning, Mr. Prime Minister? All of that is good. Fabulous, 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 fabulous. But it makes me question, how is this rollout going to impact the people of Falmouth and surrounding areas? How are they going to benefit? If you're saying, Mr. Prime Minister, that this is a time not to slow down on the preparation for what is to come, then there needs to be a drive, Mr. Prime Minister, to build up the skill set, the bank of the skill set of tradesmen. If this development is coming in the way that you say it's coming, and I believe you because I've not seen anything that you have promised in the way of building that didn't come. But the youth in Trelawney, the youth in Trelawney going to want a little work. It's not that I love my fellow Jamaicans any less, but that I love my community a little bit more. And so when I see the people from other parishes coming into Trelawney to take up all the jobs because we're underskilled, it concerns me. So I'm saying that maybe at this time, a little help need to be sent our way to help to take out those people who want to learn some valuable trade, to take up the work when the work comes around. To take up the work when the work comes around, because most of our tradesmen in and around Falmouth are really getting old. We have a whole lot of young people, male and female, that could be absorbed in this project that is coming. Help us out by sending the training our way. The young people them need to be working. And hurry up, send the help the fast before we get too used to the dialing money. Because if we get used to the dialing money, we're going to have a kind of a Pavlovian response. Anyway, the sweeter money there, or they were gone. And we don't love fast food already. We're already having a taste for fast food. So please, government, send us some training, some encouragement, do all you can do. At one time, you could never find a better carpenter, a better woodworker than the ones in D-side Trelawney. Now I have an article in the newspaper, 11 people arrested in D-side, 2 guns found. And a D-side that originally. So the criminal element and crime is getting more and more attractive. No, I'm just pointing it out. What can we do? What can we do? I have it that a good portion of Falmouth and Greater Falmouth, in terms of the youngsters, are unskilled. The vast majority too. How we can find a way to get some help. Separate and apart from that development, Mr. Prime Minister, we once had a discussion in the Chamber of Commerce about the distribution of that 50 acres of land that I imagine you to be talking about. And the question of what access original Falmouth and Trelawney people will have to participate in land ownership in that area. And I can tell you that in as much as the Chamber of Commerce seem lightweight, there are people in the Chamber of Commerce who are very, very concerned about this particular issue. As I hear from the Chamber of Commerce, It was promised that the people of Trelawney, the people of Falmouth, will have access to land ownership in that area so that we can grow alongside our new neighbors who are migrating to our parish. I'm hoping, leaders, that we will be able to have a discussion about that, which will put us all in a better position and put us at ease as to how this development will positively impact the people of Falmouth in terms of business ownership, land ownership, and trade. And this particular item goes hand in hand with the training of the youth, or the encouragement of the youth in Trelawney to get on board with some trades, the masonry, the carpentry. Somehow we must make that attractive again. There was a time in the Jamaican high schools, you could never go to a high school in especially the countryside. You could never go to a high school in the countryside and don't be doing woodwork, metalwork, welding, and plumbing and electrical installation. Those are almost all gone. How are we going to, build that back up so that the youth coming out of school now will come out with a trade? How are we going to do it? Is it something that we're looking at? Or have we stopped it like how we stopped civics and those other nice subjects that would make us better citizens? I'm just saying, if Falmouth is going to develop in the way that the government is proposing that Falmouth will be developed, then please let it be also developed with the people of Falmouth and indeed the people of Trelawney in mind. Send out a little plan, Mekwesi. Send out something, Mekwesi. And usually, Mr. Prime Minister, you mean what you say. So if you send it out and say I saw it to go, I suspect that I saw it going to go. Yeah? So we welcome the development of New Falmouth, that you last Shira did call it. We welcome the development of New Falmouth, but we want to be a part of it. We want to participate in it from a skills perspective. We want to participate in it from a business perspective. I'm still asking for any caller to or texters to text 876-482-4944 or 876-317-1991. I'm willing to have a discussion. As I say, Mr. Roach, I'm ready for you when you're ready to call in. And Bingy, we still have business to talk about. Pastor Newton, call me, man. Let us talk about the church thing and how COVID is impacting religion, how it's impacting Christianity, because you have all kind of religion. How is it impacting people of faith, and in particular, how is it impacting Christians and their worship? Talk to me. I really love to hear. Really love to hear. Now, we ventured into crime a little bit with the 11 persons arrested in D-side. I suspect a pure youngster that too. I suspect that will only be youngsters. But there was also another set of arrests in Discovery Bay. Or is that Runaway Bay? Runaway Bay. I don't know if or Discovery Bay. That hotel, Runaway Bay, no. It's Runaway Bay. It's Runaway Bay. And purported scammers. And they were arrested. I don't know. Some people must be thinking now about locking them up and throwing away the key. But I remember last week raising the question when you hear about doctors selling the COVID shot for $4,000. I remember making mention of that kind of scamming. vis-a-vis the telephone operators. But now I have to add, in the news, Mr. Floyd Greenlee and Mr. Percival Bahado of Petroleum fame. You see, for better or for worse, I'm not making any judgment against the men. I think paying back the money is as good as pleading guilty for me. Fact of the matter is, if they didn't get catch, they didn't go get back. If they didn't get catch, they wouldn't get back. So now what are we going to tell the people who we actually label scammers? What are we going to tell those people? Because the men of Petroleum fame, and it's in the news, so I think I do nothing wrong by calling the names. It's in the news. Them have them big lawyer to defend them. And the lawyers are doing their job. Everybody deserves a lawyer. But are we seeing similar treatment for white-collar crimes? Are we, and it's not just even similar treatment, because really that's not where I want to go. I really want to ask a question. Just see where the example set. And that more ask. This is where the example is set. And I'm going to outline something to the public of Jamaica today. I'm adamant about it because I believe it to be true. Again, this is Ed Wallce and not Fit FM. I'm going to tell you that when we, and I'm going to say we, when we, the big men, take the kickbacks, scam up the money in a traveling, buy boat, buy a big vehicle, right? Do all of that. Then we use all that we've acquired through nefarious means to take the little young girl that our nephews and sons should have. And our nephews and sons see that one of the reasons why you get his girlfriend is because of the car and the boat and the whatever you have. You know, feel same go want to have some too. And when your son in your house go talk about him daddy's riches, and sometimes talk how him daddy get it, you know, feel that is going to influence some youngster on the outside for do some things, forget things too. I really don't, let me not say me not care. That's not what I want to say. I am adamant that there are two things in this world. Two things. Sex and God. We usually left out God. The next thing is sex, which was really meant for procreation, for having children. But God had some pleasure to it. So sex for pleasure comes in. Everything we do in life, separate and apart for those things to God, just about everything we do, 90 to 95%, centers around getting the right sexual partner, attracting the right sexual partner. All them lipstick there, and rouge and facial and nasal and toesial and fingershal and all them things there. It's all done for looking sexy, for looking good, for looking attractive. All the big vehicle them and all the big sport them and the big car them and all them kind of thing there, do it for in an attempt to attract the right eyes. That it come down to, you know. That it come down to. Now, here what Mr. Maslow say. Sex is one basic need of man. A basic need. Abraham Maslow. Food, clothes, shelter, and sex. All right? And man, therefore, you can just extrapolate and say this. A man, therefore, or people, therefore. People, let me not say a man. People, therefore, will go through any ends to feed themselves, go through any ends to find shelter, whatever creative means they have to use. You know, feel so then go have creative means to try and get sex. It's going to rally somewhere between attraction and rape. So what I'm saying now is that we're turning our universe, we're turning our world upside down. With this kind of corruption at the top of our society. Because though it might seem to you like a victimless crime, it has victims to it. Because we take away the little young girl them from the young boys them, making it harder for them to find mates. And they will do anything to attract mates, putting them now into what we call criminality. I don't know if anybody else see it for me one. I don't know if I'm making sense. I don't know. But if the fathers in society are not setting example, the proper example, the correct example, we're not dealing with event or specific activity now. But the principle of corruption is going to spread down to the younger ones. And I ask him, I tell her. So when we're talking about criminality, make we include those. And when we're talking about scamming, make we include those. And the pretty top about them return the money. If a scammer could have returned the money, he would have still get extradited and go to prison. Same way, the young boy them. Same way. So I could make sure that justice is done. And I could try to change the society from that level as well. Because things gone so bad now, we have attack the whole thing of how we live from all angles. It gone so bad that if we don't repair it from all angles, then we're going to have a culture set in and we're going to just go on and on into perpetuity. I don't know if that makes sense, but if I'm not, the phone say 876 317 1991. All right? 876 482 4944. Call me up on my quarrel. I'm looking for a conflict this evening. It will be valuable. It will be a valuable conflict. Yeah. So the murders continue, and we're at 212 murders up to when I checked this figure. This may be yesterday's figure. You know, as I said this figure, I remember that I didn't deal with losses in the opening. For all those people who continue to lose relatives by virtue of this madness that is going on. Fit FM extends condolences to your family and yourself, and wish that the Spirit of God will dwell with you to comfort you and to get you over this hump. It might not be easy to recover from, but God has a purpose in everything. And find your purpose in God. As I said, we hope the Comforter will come to you and abide with you as you go through your time of sorrow. So the murders continue. One thing, though, is that it would seem that the police activities have, over the last week or so, week and a half, 2 weeks, perhaps 3 weeks, somehow the police seem to be meeting some successes right now with respect to crime. And I'm hoping it started from the firefight with those 5 men in the hills of Augusttown. And from that, some little things have been happening. More of the persons who commit murders are being caught now, it would seem. A little bit. I'm not saying most of them, I'm saying more. See, murder in St. Thomas and people get caught, Portland, people get caught, and all across the place. That is a good thing because just catching the criminals should be a deterrent. But as we continue on crime, I think, what is it, 1939? 1939, League of Nations, His Majesty Haile Selassie, making a speech. It's in the same speech he said, until the philosophy. Very same speech. But a part of the speech, Mussolini, I think, was invading Ethiopia at the time. And he was appealing to the League of Nations to help and to stop Mussolini, not knowing that the Europeans had done plan out how they will carve up Africa already. But notwithstanding, he made the plea and he said, perhaps it's a bad thing for me to use such a big deal to refer to the small deal that I'm going to use it to refer to. But he said, the flame so lit in Ethiopia shall soon consume the world. In a very short while after that, World War II started. I say all of that enough thing for say this. I want to see what is happening in Jamaica now with the robberies and break-ins and robberies of supermarkets and all of them kind of thing there. When that started last year now, in St. Elizabeth, when it started in St. Elizabeth, this program spoke about it. So it come back now to when the opposition leader or the shadow minister on finance spoke and said things bad. You might not like to hear the message from those mouths if you're political. But the fact of the matter is, things bad and getting worse. Things bad and getting worse. And some of the times now, it's not even shop breaking, Mr. Government. Some of the times it's blatant. A man about go forgot broke shop for take out goods. A man just send for what he want. And that name extortion. Just as well in the walk in, but now it's worse. I tell the shopkeeper for carry him things come or send him things come. And that officer on. That must be sent. So there are a whole lot of things happening in Jamaica. Well, what is there to smile about? Some people can smile, some of us can, some of us can't. And that's a simple fact, Mr. Government. That's a simple fact. And who is doing the stealing? As criminal as them be, as criminal as they are, you still have to wonder whether or not you're not in sympathy. We're just in a state. We're just in a state. We're just in a state. And COVID bring out some of the things a little bit more. But the fact of the matter is some of these things were going on a long time ago. And we have not addressed it. Now that we have not addressed it, the chickens are really coming home to roost. The chickens are coming home to roost. So, what are we going to be doing? Again, from my own perspective, this time I can talk on behalf of FIT because I know some FIT colleagues share the sentiment. As communities, we have to start act as communities if government don't act. We have to put our citizens association and our neighborhood watches into focus. We have to begin to take our children out of the informal culture. We have to begin to teach them good things. This is an opportunity for take your picnic them, turn your yard, because COVID out there. Use that as an excuse. And then spend the time to teach them values and attitudes. This is a good, opportune time to do that. So I would appeal to all parents. Rather than you in the house and turning at each other's throat, because I hear some of that is going on too. Frustrated and stressed and pressure. How do you get to that point? There's things to do, things to accomplish, children to grow, decent children to grow. Why are we in this struggle in the homes? Whole heap of things about that. That's whole heap of things, whole heap of struggle. Whole heap of struggle. And the question is, can we not settle down and get some focus on some of these issues? Pick out what matters most and try to deal with them. Pick it out and try to deal with it. When we got married, most people seem not to understand this. A few people seem not to understand it. There's a little song. I wish our marriage license was just like a driver's license that would expire every few years with an option to hold just in case love ever grows cold. And it would seem to me that people are not understanding. Too many people are not understanding that a marriage is a lifelong partnership that usually includes the raising of children as a part of the job. Taking care of each other exclusively as a part of the job. So right now, as we see somebody else out the road, I look good, we're gone. Because the driver's license expire. We have to make a little change on that. If we start make a little, if we start playing music today, you'd love the one you with, as Luther Van Ross said. But we have some real problems, and not only real problems, deep-rooted problems. Deep-rooted problems. And then these deep-rooted problems manifest themselves into crime, violence, and murder. What we are doing, Jamaica? I'm moving up to a little break now as I wait for two things to happen. One, for Pastor Nugent or Bingy to call me, and then the other one definitely for Robert Roach to call me. But I'll be right back with you in a moment. We take a break here on Community Buzz, FIT FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Hey, the cry of the oppressed, the cry of the downtrodden man. Brothers and sisters, we got to, yes, rise up, rise and tall. Don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up, rise and tall. Don't you bow and fall. No matter matter what they say or do, think big, don't think small. People working so hard, then get underpaid, and to mount situation that's just first aid. Depression and stress when the bills can't be paid. Still me not go falter, not go fade. Got to move ahead in life no matter what it takes. The chains and the barriers, you know we gotta break. My eyes are open, and now that I'm awake, now go make you eat up the cake. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. No matter what they say or do, think big, don't think small. Uplift yourself from poverty and shame. No more self-pity, the victory must claim. The ancestors' blood must never go in vain. We have the power of the sun and the rain. As rebel in the streets, we now go for one retreat. We know the struggle bitter, we know say it no sweet. We trample corruption under we feet. Climb into the highest peak. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. No matter what they say or do, think big, don't think small. Yeah, yaga yo yaga yeah yeah. Boy, 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 boy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Courageous, that's how we must be. Deep inside your heart and soul, my people, you must be free. Wider than the ocean, deeper than the deep blue sea. In you, in I, in everyone, there is a possibility. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. No matter what they say or do, think big, don't think small. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. No matter what they say or do, think big, don't think small. Rise up, rise stand tall, don't you bow and fall. Evil men will fight you down, even when you're back against the wall. Rise up.
Rise up, rise up. My producer there gave a pure trouble. We're on the last 15 minutes. We don't know what she want to say. No, but she put me in a spot. You know, let me tell you something. This is the program we run here is community buzz about community issues and things. But let me say something to us all. One of the most important things in a society is a basic unit, the family. And we have to know when we handle that family unit. As I said before, it can't be fast food. I don't know. Well, I don't know what the future might bring, because I tell you, things change. But right now, it can be a fast food situation. As your eye fatten from one thing, you move and you go on to it. You know? And we all have feelings. We all have feelings and can be hurt. So we need to be careful how we handle each other. We need to be careful how we handle each other. And I'm going to tell you something. I have sworn a long time ago that if I have a problem that my Bible can't help me solve, I'm going to fling it away. And I've also made the declaration that my Bible has never ever, the word of God has never ever failed me. Some people talk about contradiction in the Bible and how much contradiction, enough contradiction not in the Bible for me, for fail me. And I'm suspecting that it shouldn't fail you either. So anything you want to find, you can solve it if you just have the faith, have the diligence to go seek the answer that you need for the particular issue. My pastor, my actual pastor, the one who baptized me, Edgewater Baptist Church in Portmore, St. Catherine, he keeps saying, you can't go to Jesus and tell Jesus, say, boy, Jesus, I true you don't know. I true you don't know Jesus. If you say I true you don't know, me have one friend there. Jesus said, yeah, I know him, Judas. Yeah? If you say, no, man, Jesus, I don't even talk about, man, and the Lord one, man, will chat me behind about, man, and say, oh, sorry, I never know, say, Peter, you talk about. If you say, I pure badness, my brother, try invite me in Jesus. Pure, I true, you don't know. Every time he come up pure badness, they say, you need to know the brother one named Andrew and the brother one named John. Jesus called them sons of thunder. So very little bit you can tell Jesus, can bring to Jesus. Hungry and no food. Boy, you know about 40 days and 40 nights. Eh? Boy, I couldn't resist it, Jesus can offer me one big Benz and rate it. Actually, I don't know, Satan, give me the world. But there's nothing, no problem that you can have. No problem that you can have that you cannot solve. Well, let me restate. No problem that I can have that I cannot solve from the Word of God. I have a strong suspicion that most of us, if we pay attention, we could have taken the same position. I'm not a fan of the prosperity ministry. Oh, come to Jesus, tithe and you get money and you'll get your house and that this and your job promotion and those people holding you down. I'm not a fan of that kind of doctrine. But the truth of the matter is, you see, when you come to Jesus, the first thing what happens is that you get a little richer. And I'm not telling you. You know that, producer? The first thing will happen to you when you come to Jesus is that you get richer. Because if you really come to Jesus, some of your desires of the world drop right there, so at the expense of those desires. If you have to do your style for God dance, you don't need that again. Right? If you need the latest clocks for go show off in a dance, you don't need that again. All of a sudden, money starts save, so you can't help send your people in them go to school. Or give your baby mother the money. Somehow, my last few minutes of this program usually end up in a talk like this. About 3 weeks now that I'm not true, producer. Yeah? Because last week it was a weird question. Adam, where art thou? Where's your wife? Where's your brother, Cain? But, people, let me tell you, stay strong. I'm sorry I wasn't able to hear from one of our pastor friends this afternoon in relation to the impact of COVID on the relationship, the Christian relationship with our Lord and Master. How that work out. I know. And how we rationalize it, how we deal with those questions. Me don't know because COVID real and COVID affect all aspects of life. You know, so I wanted to have that chat. I hope I can arrange it. Perhaps Pastor Roti next week and see if we can have that talk. Where's the producer? We think we can do it? Huh? Because some people, you know, as a matter of faith, you know, no feasible and why they take no vaccine, you know. And as a matter of faith, they believe say, huh? No, the minister's protest. So, the psychological impact of COVID on everybody, and then really and truly, sometimes it's just a church we have left. You know, we need to encourage each other. So, I keep looking behind me. So, we have to stay strong in all of this. And Fit FM would like to encourage you in all your endeavors with whatever you're doing. If you're trying business, I can tell you can't tell my producer that time hard with trying business, because I've never seen another woman, not that another woman never do it, but I've never witnessed it, what she's going through to build her business. And all she have beside her is one little daughter. God. Well, I'm not go think at show the little contribution of those supporters who work with you. Yeah. But for all intent and purpose, for finance this project, it's not easy. To get the business going, it's not easy. So nothing in life is easy. So if you want to look for encouragement, one of the persons you can look at is Julia, Chief Executive of Fit FM 96.7. You know, we can't give up the fight. Can't give up the struggle. Try what you're trying. Walk with God. Walk honestly. Walk truthfully. Walk with loyalty. It will work out in the end. It will work out in the end. I want to thank you all for staying with us for this 2.5 hours. I shot you a few minutes in the early part, but thank you nonetheless for staying with me. I would hope that we would have more conversations. Yeah, somebody saying something else there? Yeah, man, we have to big up Julia for real. Who's saying that? Make a bigger up, man. Thelma, big up to you too. Big up. We thank you for tuning in. Yeah, and God willing, next week, same time, same place. Remember, COVID restrictions, tighten a little bit, work with it. And if you have to protest, then what you do is comply and complain. Comply and complain. Because, not complying would perhaps get you into some trouble. Thank you once again, all, and God willing, next week. See you. So here I am, the controversial Ed Wallce. I'm on Community Buzz every Monday afternoon from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Fit